Hello, welcome to the first in a series of webinars that we're putting on at Bitbloom. And what we want to do with these webinars is we want to share the latest product innovations in our SIFT platform. We are going to go through a few product demos, some of the things that we've been working on lately that are really enhancing our platform and that our users are getting excited about. Before we go into that, just a few short introductions. I'm Mike. I'm one of the co-founders of Bitbloom. I also lead our product development. With me today are Orla, she is assistant product manager and UX designer at Bitbloom. And bringing a bit of expertise in is Judith, who is an analyst and works with our products day in, day out to do the kind of technical consultancy work with our clients. So we'll dive into some demos in a little bit. But before we start that, I just want to spend a short amount of time introducing Bitbloom and SIFT to you, just in case you're new to the platform and are not familiar with it. So here's a little bit about us. Our thesis is that if you are not analyzing your operational data to deep monitor your assets, then they are likely to be losing revenue against your baseline projections. So by assets here, we mean renewable energy assets. So this is wind turbines, solar panels, and we generally work with large portfolios. So we think that data is a really important asset, and that by doing data analysis and understanding in a really thorough way what is going on in these devices, we can really help improve things, improve top line revenues. So we do this across a few different areas. We increase energy yield with performance monitoring, really understanding what is leading to performance losses. We can detect health issues early with condition monitoring, and we also monitor a whole range of compliance issues. A new thing that we started doing recently is also bringing a bit of financial intelligence in there. We're explaining budgets with yield insights. So we bring all of this data together and all of these analytics into our product SIFT. And SIFT is what we call an operational and analytics intelligence platform. So it's not just bringing in the operational data, it's not just the analytics, it's also building all of the data around that so that teams on the ground have all of the information that they need in order to go out and solve issues that they're facing in their plants. So it's a really rich platform with both the analytics, alerting, notifications, and a really powerful task system to ensure that all of the stakeholders can come together and collaborate. Got a few of our clients listed here. We're active globally with 13 countries at the moment and growing. So we're going to do some demos of some of our new features today. Here's a short list, and Orla's going to take the first couple of demos, and then I'll take the next two. And Judith's going to provide a little bit of analyst insight as we go. So first up will be improved alert navigation. So a lot of the power in the platform is built around this alerting system. We monitor a huge number of KPIs in the system, and those KPIs are always growing. We don't want to be overwhelmed with the amount of data, and so having a targeted alert system is really important for us. We've made some improvements to it, and Orla's going to demonstrate those in a moment. We've done some work to make the analysis setup and organization faster and clearer, so that when you're operating on a large portfolio, 30, 40, 50 wind farms, it's easy to set up analysis, and it's easier than ever now. AI search is a tool that we've added to the platform to help show up data in the context of your workflow. So if you're doing some investigations as an analyst and you want to know more, then we've got a powerful AI search that you can drop into at any time. I'll demo that briefly. And finally, we've made some improvements to the waterfall analysis. So we've also got some new types of analysis that we're deploying with the platform as well. So with that, I'll hand over to Orla. She's going to take us through the first couple of demos. If you have any questions, please type them in the chat or in the questions tab there, and we'll have some time for questions at the end. Otherwise, please enjoy these new features.
Yes, thank you. Mike, I don't know if you are still sharing.
Stop sharing now. There, it's all yours.
Oh gosh, okay, thanks. Yes, so hi everyone, my name is Orla, and as Mike mentioned, I'm our UX designer and assistant product manager, and I'm going to present a couple of these new features that Mike was just summarizing. So the first one that we're going to present today is our improved alert navigation, and I'll just jump to the next slide. And maybe just to give a little bit of background on this one, in the last 12 months, we've been working very closely with our analysts and our internal users, and also getting some feedback from customers on how they're using the alerting on the platform, in terms of how they get good visibility of alerts, how they work with alerts, where they see the alerts on the platform, how they're diagnosing issues using these. And we've really worked closely with them to try look at where there might be problems on the platform, and where we can make some improvements that will really help their workflow. And some of the new improvements that we've been working on has improved the navigation on the platform, and also helped to speed up the diagnosis of some of the issues for these analysts, as well as improving the visibility on the visualizations and the plots themselves, which has been helping our analysts take action on some of these alerts and work with them a bit better. So I'm going to jump to our demo platform and jump here. So just to briefly explain this view here. Oh, sorry, you're not actually seeing that, are you? Let me just jump there. Don't know why you're not seeing
Maybe
this.
Did you just share your window instead of the whole
Maybe.
screen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hold
reshare
on,
that.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. We're here. So yeah, just to briefly explain this view. So this is our homepage on our SIF Monitor platform. And this gives us a dashboard view of all the sites in our demo portfolio. So we can see here that a list of all our wind turbine sites, and we can see what types of alerts are going off on these sites. Here, these are based on most critical being the red ones and least critical being the yellow ones. And if we hover over these alerts, we can get this tooltip, which gives a list of these activations which are going off. You can get a bit more information on these. And then if you want to investigate this a bit further, you can navigate directly into this visualization here. So if we look at our visualization, we can open this collapsible menu on the side. So if I jump to open the alert activations, I get this list of alerts, which is showing me all of the alerts which are being activated within this entire bundle. So these visualization bundles are something which we introduced in the last couple of months, and they're really to help our analysts organize their analysis a bit better. And Judith will talk a bit more to that as well in a minute, and why these are quite useful for our analysts to work with these. But if we just look at this bundle view, we can see here that there's a checkbox which says show activations for all views on the bundle. So this is showing us all the activations which are going off in this entire bundle. And if we uncheck this, this disappears, and we get this note that just says that there's no alert activations going off in this view. And if we jump to the view beside it, we can see they're actually going off in the visualization here on the right. So if I jump back, another way we can navigate here is through these icons, and these will show up if the activation isn't in the view that we're currently looking at. So we can hover over here and get a tooltip that just says switch to the view for this alert. and we can navigate directly there and have a look at these here. So these are also some new features that we introduced, these toggles, which show, which allow us to turn these on to show what types of thresholds we've set up for these alerts. And then also we can turn on the activations, which shows us where these activations are actually going off on the visualization. And this is shown by color as well, so depending on the criticality of the alert. And we can also view here where things are exceeding these thresholds, and it really just helps give the analysts some clarity at a glance of what's happening, and help again to kind of speed up diagnosing maybe what's going on these sites. So if you also select these alerts in the list, you get this option to snooze the alert if you have reasons to do so, but also you can create a task and take action on these from here. So if I jump back to the home page, and I'm going to go to another example, which is here. And yes, I'm going to pass this over to Judith to give a bit more information on why these features are quite helpful for her own workflow and why they're helping our analysts.
Yeah, thanks, Orla. So these new features with helping seeing the alert activations have really helped to speed up my workflow, mainly by keeping my attention focused where it needs to be. So before we had the ability to see the alert thresholds and activations, I would get to this view, see that there's alerts going off, and my attention would naturally gravitate towards the largest exceedance there, turbine 21, I think it is. Yeah, that one. However, if we turn on the activations now, thank you. We see that turbine 21 does not have an alert going off at it, and that's because in a previous week I probably already have gone and seen that there's something going on there, and I've created a task for it, or I've snoozed it. In any case, this means that this alert or this exceedance isn't relevant at the moment. And now there is another exceedance that is relevant instead, and that's the one at turbine 9. So yeah, with being able to see these activations, that's really helping to immediately go to where the problem is, rather than first need to figure out which exceedance it is that I'm meant to be focusing on.
Great, thank you, Judith. So I'm just going to jump back to the slides. Hopefully this will present to my screen. Perfect. So the next feature that I'm going to present is some of the improvements that we've made to our analysis visualizations page. So this page is used to set up visualizations for the whole portfolio, and both the analysis visualizations and the analysis definitions page work quite closely together. So what we really wanted to do was improve the consistency, both from a UI perspective, but from the functionality on both of these pages, to be consistent with each other and work the same, and also improve some of the functionality on, in particular, the analysis visualizations page. We've worked on improving the drag and drop feature and some other UI elements just to help this work a bit better for our users. So if I jump back to the demo site again, and I go to our analysis visualizations page, so you can see here we've changed the view of this page now so that people can view this as in groups, and they can look at what groups are set up and set up their visualizations under the groups on this page. So if you have a group that has multiple visualizations, you can use the search bar tool to search what visualizations you're looking for here, and also you can reorder things from here and so on. You can also copy visualizations which have been set up already. So using the duplicate tool, you can copy an existing visualization. It will just duplicate the first one and just add copy at the end of the name, as you can see here. And this is really useful for our analysts because and Judith will talk to this in a minute, but it just saves a lot of time from setting up some of these visualizations from scratch. We can also add new visualizations here and create these bundle views from this page, which I was talking to a while ago about the bundles that we introduced a few months ago. So we want to make it quite straightforward for our users to set up bundles and apply this to all of their sites within the portfolio. So you can do this here. And if you add a new view to this bundle, it will duplicate the first view and configuration that you're looking at here. And then you can make changes to the configuration to get your second view and delete them from here as well. So I will pass it over to Judith to talk to why some of these changes have been helpful in her workflow and give a bit more background on some of the bundled views.
Yeah, so Orla's touched on how we can duplicate the analyses definitions and visualizations, and how duplicating the visualizations saves some time in just not needing to repeat the same steps. And I want to stress that this is also particularly helpful in the analysis definitions. When I'm creating a new analysis, I'm looking at different ways that I could be setting it up, and I want to be varying something little about the analysis. So for instance, I want to figure out if it makes more sense to see it on a monthly or a weekly basis, and that helps me set it up. This copy button helps me set it up once, and then copy it and just change the one thing about it that I want to be figuring out which one works the best. On a more day-to-day basis, it's also been this improved organization has also been very helpful within the looking at the outputs of the analyses. So Orla, if you go to the group, the partial load efficiency group, I think it is.
Yeah.
If you've been using the Sift platform for a while, you'll be used to needing to scroll up and down quite a lot. If you have a bar chart that's setting off an alert, you would see where the alert is, and then you would quite usually want to go look at how that has been looking over time. So you would want to look for a line chart or a heat map that's showing the same data that's in the background of the bar chart. And so you'll be used to needing to scroll up and down quite a lot to figure out where the information is. With the bundles, this scrolling has been made not necessary anymore, because we have the ability to just tab these together now. So if I have my bar chart that's setting off an alert, I can immediately go to another tab, and it's much more centralized in finding the information that I need.
Yeah. Great, thank you, Judith. So that is all of the features from my end, and Mike's going to present the last couple of ones on our list for today's agenda. So I will stop sharing my screen and pass it back to Mike.
Thank you very much, Orla. Thanks, Judith. It's really good overviews of some of the new features there that are helping us to really kind of dig into issues that are coming up more quickly, understand them, make the analyst workflow much more efficient, and also for when we need to roll out new analysis, which we do quite a lot, how we make that a lot more efficient. So really good improvements to Sift in those. The first feature I'm going to look at today is AI search. AI is a very buzzy word, but we're integrating a search platform that uses AI. So we're using some of the latest embedding models and some semantic understanding of the items in our system in order to just improve the access to context relevant information for our analysts and for anyone else who's using the platform. So when we're looking at Sift, there's quite a lot of information in there these days, an enormous amount of of both analytics data, so operational data from wind farms, from solar farms, but also a lot of natural language information. So we're spending quite a lot of time making sure that there's good descriptions of all of the analysis that's in the platform, so that anyone who comes to it can understand it. There's also a rich task system, which is used for collaboration. We tell the story of what's going on behind issues, and we can also now add documents. So any of those, like operator reports or turbine manuals that might just be in a PDF document somewhere on your company's SharePoint, you can add those to the system now, and these are now all opened up to AI search within SIFT. And so this is very helpful for analysts who are looking at a particular issue and they maybe want some extra information around it. So it's integrated really nicely with their workflow. Anytime you're on SIFT, you can just drop into a search box and look up some relevant information. So I'll do a quick demo of that now. I'm going to use our demo site again that Orla was showing earlier. And I'm going to navigate to this issue, which is on CalMarsh. So we're using some of the CalMarsh open data from Cubico, and we're going to look at this high yaw error issue. So I can navigate straight to that, and I can see that this is the alert that's being flagged on the homepage. So as I'm looking at this, I might be interested in what else is going on elsewhere in the platform. Have I noticed an issue with your error before on this site or on any other? And can I get the information for that? And to do that, we can drop into search. So you can either do that through this search button up here, or you can Control K for all you power keyboard users out there. And just that will drop us into this search box here. And so I can start typing yaw and see what comes up. So obviously, I have a lot of yaw error analysis in the system. This is across a bunch of sites, but maybe I'm just interested in CalMarsh. So let's have a look at what it brings up. And we can see that this is now much more relevant information. So I've got this is another analysis on CalMarsh that I could link to understand more. And I've got a lot of documents, but let's say I might be interested in a task, so I can apply that filter as well. And I can see that, in fact, yes, I do have a task that is showing high yaw error. So I might want to open that in a different window and go and explore what has been seen here before. This is just something I'll put together quickly, but normally we can add a lot more kind of contextual information in the task, including custom analyses and such. I can also find things like documents. So if I click on that document filter, then I can see that I've got the Siemens MM92 manual, which I might want to dig into to understand. This is, of course, not a real Siemens MM92 manual. It's just something that I generated for the purposes of demos. So that's search. And the nice thing about AI search is that it uses embeddings which capture meaning. And so you can actually type in whatever language you like here, and it would give you something relevant. So I think this is yaw in German, and it's going to hopefully find some relevant information here. So it's still bringing up this high yaw error task. So Judith, have you been using the search functionality in SIFT?
Yes, I've been finding it very helpful. The thing I've been finding it most helpful yet is in finding tasks. So in my day-to-day work, I often need to look for a task, whether that's for information on the site history or finding a similar problem to the one I'm looking at and getting a little refresher of what I did to investigate it. And this Control K is the way I use it. Is
power user.
Yes, is really good to be able to look for a task without needing to remember specific things about it, like its name or what site it was on, or other set properties. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's like that kind of. I'm sure everyone's had the experience where they just about know something on the edge of their brain, but they just drop into Google to make sure. And so this is like
Exactly.
the Google for operational analysis. Is how we like to use it. Thanks, Judith. That's really useful context there. I'm going to now flip over to the next and final feature that we're going to demo today, and this is the improvements in waterfall analysis. So in SIFT, we have a whole load of ways of displaying data. This includes bar charts, scatter, heat maps, pie charts, you name it. And one thing that we've had for a long time is this waterfall chart, which is in this case being used to show a budget reconciliation analysis. We've made some improvements to this chart, so improvements for clarity, so that it's more easy to understand when we're looking at the chart exactly what information is being displayed. So I will now just navigate over to that. I'm going to use our fancy search feature to find the budget reconciliation. And apply those filters, and find the budget reconciliation analysis. So we can see here, this is part of a bundle. We've got a bunch of different date ranges that this budget reconciliation is applied over. And this one is one for the data in Calmash is quite old, so that's why it says 2020 here. Typically, we'd be doing this on whatever the latest time range we have available. And it's we can show some of the nice UI features that we've got here. So the annotations when we're hovering over to show what is being displayed. But I'm just a code monkey. Judith knows a lot more about the analytics, so perhaps she can help me explain exactly what we're looking at here, what this analysis is doing, and what this waterfall chart is.
Yeah, so this is an automated budget reconciliation analysis where what we're doing is we're showing the expected gross yield on the left there and the net observed yield on the right. And in between, we have these floating bricks that explain the difference between the two. So resource variation, that's whether we've been having more wind or less wind in the year than we were expecting to. And then some losses due to downtime, curtailments. So those two, the three bricks. We have data coverage adjustment because it is quite usual to have some data loss, whether that's because the turbine is disconnected from disconnected or other reasons. And finally, we have an unexplained remainder that is the goal is for this one to be as small as possible, but of course that's not always. We can't always have it be 0 exactly, so this still needs to be accounted for and shown in this budget reconciliation. So what's really good about this analysis is that it's automatically updated when new data comes in. We can do it at a chosen frequency, for instance, monthly, and still easily aggregate over it to get to a different frequency. So for instance, being able to see the last 12 months. So a year's worth of data, but rolling to where we are at in the year.
Yeah, and the other thing I'd add to this is that underlying all of these analyses is Bitbloom's really powerful analytics that is not only picking out all of the small issues that might otherwise be missed, but it's also traceable, so we can understand exactly where all of these bars are coming from and why they look like they do. Thanks very much, Judith. That was really helpful bit of information there. And that brings us to the end of the webinar for today. So if you do have any questions, please drop them in the chat, or alternatively, just reach out to us. You can find us on the web, of course. There's a QR code there that you can use to link to our website. Or just type bitbloom.tech in. You can reach out to any of us on LinkedIn, or you can find contact details on our website as well. If you want to find us in person, then in fact today, Phil and Neil from Bitbloom are in Amsterdam for the Wind Power Data and Digital Innovation Forum. And at the start of next month, we'll be sending a team to Wind Europe in Copenhagen. So please reach out if you're going to be there. It'd be great to see any of you that are attending. And yeah, that's it from us. Please ask any questions now. We'll stay on for a few minutes in case anyone's got anything that they want to know. But thank you very much for listening today. All right. Anyone got any questions? I know that we have a plant in the audience with a couple of questions, so they'll be forthcoming. But has anyone else got anything that they'd like to ask today? Okay, Sophie, thank you, Sophie, has asked, how do you ensure new features integrate well with existing systems? So I think there's a couple of aspects to this. The first one is that that Bitbloom and SIFT really work together with existing systems, and we sit on top of a data collection system, whether that's an in-house data warehouse or a second layer SCADA system from a range of commercial providers. So we have integrations with for example, Greenbyte and Basefield and Rotasoft. And we really sit alongside those things where they provide some kind of really strong data collection and some basic analytics. We sit alongside and provide the advanced analytics and the ability to do deep dive into the data. So that's one aspect, and the other aspect is how do we push out new features without disrupting what is already there. So we're really we think that shipping new features to our users often is very important. We want to be constantly innovating and pushing what is possible with our platforms, but of course it's very important not to disrupt any existing users. So whenever we do push new features, we ensure that there's always a migration pathway, and we don't deprecate old features. We always allow them to run in parallel. I don't know if perhaps Judith can explain a case recently where there was a migration to maybe the bundle system.
Yes, so the bundle migration was very smooth and well thought out. So we've well thought out. We showed in this webinar what it's like to set one up from scratch. But what we didn't show is that there's also the possibility to move an existing visualization into a different bundle. So instead of having to recreate things that already existed, we were able to just move them around and keep all of the metadata around it. So links to tasks and other things like that.
Yeah, and the key thing is that we've got a really robust system around all of this to make sure that that nothing goes out of date, that everything is going to continue working. So we're constantly monitoring the system to ensure that that your analyses are always going to be running no matter what we do on the code side. Thanks, Judith, and thanks, Sophie. Have we got any other questions from the audience? Okay, Sophie again, good. So how does Bitbloom prioritize developments and decide where to go next? I'll hand over to Orla for this one.
Yeah, so I guess there's always a number of projects and new developments that we're always looking to do, but how we actually prioritize those is heavily based around speaking to our internal users and getting some feedback from customers, looking at the things that they're looking for, and it's something that we discuss on a weekly basis through various forums, but we're always prioritizing and reprioritizing things depending on how much our users are looking for these things and how important it is to them in using the products and improving their whole experience in using them. Another way that we do this, though, is also kind of looking out at what's trending, what kind of future trends are we seeing in the market. You know, a good example of that is the AI search, which Mike was presenting earlier. That was something that we saw and just thought that could be really useful for some of our customers on the platform. So we're always looking for new things that we could do, but always working very closely with the people using the product and making sure that we're always prioritizing new developments and new things correctly based on that feedback. I don't know if Judith or Mike have anything to add to that.
The only thing I'd add is we do love to hear from our users and our customers, and so if anyone does have any feedback for us or any suggestions or any requests, then please do reach out via any of the channels. Especially the support inbox is really active, so you can email support@bitbloom.tech if you have any questions or suggestions, and we always respond and try and do what we can when it's coming from a user. It's the platform is built for you guys, so we need to we want to hear your feedback. Okay, thank you very much for joining again. Contact details are all there. We look forward to doing another one of these in a couple of months' time with some more brand new features to share with you. Thanks, Judith. Thanks, Orla. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.